Okay, here we go. Hello, everyone. This is Mary Kurek with Frontrunners Innovate, and I have with me some wonderful African folks that are joining us. One from Turkey, actually, and one from Kenya, that are working with us today to talk about a particular event coming up, and I'll get to that in a few minutes. But what I want to do is invite my co-host here, Lukoye John, and I call him John, so we will refer to him as John in this interview.
Thank you.
And who is with the Joedy Foundation in Kenya, Nairobi. And so, John, why don't you share just a little bit about the foundation, and then we'll talk about Ambassador Hassan Rengou. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mary. So I'm so glad. So once again, I may say that I'm the program coordinator of Joedy Foundation. And basically, I do a lot of work on the, plus the integration with the youth. So one of the activities that we do presently is to work basically with the youth in terms of agriculture, in terms of environmental conservation, in education sector, and then application of the talent nurturing. So I'll go deep one by one. One of the cases that I may start, for example, is to work in correlation on education side. Higher education. Okay, I come from a region which is much closer to Uganda. That is Mount Elgon. So Joedy Foundation is a nonprofit organization which work basically hand in hand with the dispersed community. We might call the minority, or the how do you call them? Let us say the miniature community. We can perhaps give them an acronym like that. So this community have been suppressed due to the what? Due to the fact that they are not much in charge, or let us say they are not much in charge on the government cake. So what I may say, for example, right now, Western Kenya is a region which is very vast. And when it is vast, some regions have really face what is called inter-ethnic wars. For example, that is Mount Elgon region. That is the year 90s. So Joedy Foundation was formed in the instance that there were very fewer graduates, let us say those who went past secondary school, and we realized that why don't we form a caucus whereby we young the graduates, we can give back to the society, and then we apply the academic levels of our fellow brothers and sisters, as we believe that through education, we can become united. It is only through education that can make a poor person from a dispersed background, from a pulverized society, to see the world. So our major aim was to uplift the education level on the Western side. So that is why in the year 2015, Joedy Foundation was registered under the Society Act of Kenya. And we are so much glad at present, we have really done a lot of work in education sector. For example, we work under the umbrella of Elimu Yetu Coalition. That is a coalition that governs all non-profit organizations that work on the education system in Kenya. So Joedy Foundation was recognized on the all Western region. So that is, we were taken as the representative of the Western region. So currently right now, under Joedy Foundation, you have managed to make major stepwise in academics. One is we have really increased the number of graduates that have really entered in what are called higher institutions of learning, for example, the universities. During in 1915, let us say 1915, 2015, we had barely 20 people or 20 students from Mount Elgon going to university level. But right now, we are over 300 students going to universities per year. So that is a great stride in our work that you are doing. And more so, education ministry, let us say the county education ministry, is really sorting our services in terms of counseling services, in terms of, let us say, promotion of academic virtues among the students. So we have been spearheading most of the counseling sessions, and also working hand in hand by provision of the school uniform, provision of other school utilities that are really needed by poor students. So our work has really been nurtured, and the society is really knocking at our door to help them. Another thing on the education sector, I may say that perhaps now we have also thought that why don't education learning institutions be green? Because one, when the environment is cool, and we believe that it will really a humble environment for a very excellent academic learning conditions. So what we do currently, we conjoin with what is called the High School Sustainability Goal, a student organization based in California, and we are really now building more and more schools and in the line as we plant trees with more schools, both secondary and primary schools. So right now, foremost, we have really now planted 5,000 trees among the 5 schools. So, and this only started by this year, by that is early January. That is what we started with. So we are so much humble for turning our school green, because we realize that without putting the younger generation as the great ambassadors in future, we cannot culminate this enormous advantage among the youth without touching on the great angle at the ground.
You guys
Yes.
are doing so.
Yes.
We need to take a breath, take a pause here, because I need to introduce Ambassador Rengou and let him have an opportunity to talk about the event that's going on. I think the two of you have a lot to talk about later. So this is good stuff. There's things that you just said that I didn't even know that you guys did at Joedy Foundation. So thank you for that. So we're talking today with Ambassador Hassan Rengou, and when we met, Ambassador, you were, and you still are, I guess, the CEO of the World Youth Summit. And so you were busy doing some events that pulled together youth and kind of pointed them in directions of career development and entrepreneurship, as well as impact work, and all together. And I know that you're doing some other things right now. So catch us up from the last time we spoke, which has been a little while, on what you're doing now and where you're headquartered.
Yeah, thank you so much. From the last time we talked, I think that was in, if I'm not mistaken, early 2021 or end of 2020.
I think so.
In a hot pandemic. Yeah. Despite the pandemic, we didn't, fold our hand. We didn't fold our hand and, back out. We were like pushing and, forcing as young people, vibrant that we are. We were like, hoping that things will get better, but it's not going to get better if we just sit and watch. But it's going to get better if we keep working. So a lot of things have changed. That's like 2 years, and in 2 years, everything can happen. Yeah, if in 1 second everything can happen, then in 2 years it's really a lot. And for somebody like me who is highly engaged in what I'm doing, I think we got a lot to catch up on. So I'm still the CEO, by the way, of the World Youth Summit NPC, and I've been leading this organization since 2019, and I got a lot of great achievement since the last time we talked. We were able to host the World Youth Summit in South Africa, in Dubai, in Ghana, in Nigeria, in 2021 in Nigeria, yeah. And we also hosted the Global Reset Forum in Turkey with the partnership of the Dean of African Diplomatic Corps in Turkey. And we hosted in pandemic time in 2020, December, the first edition of Lead Like Mandela Forum. And the Lead Like Mandela Forum is a transformational leadership program. In Africa, one of the main problems that we're facing as young people and that we're facing as a whole, as population, as people, is the problem of leadership. Without, pointing at any country or particular country, I must say in general, the problem of leadership is a very huge problem for our countries, and this affects everything, including the economy. So World Youth Summit NPC has committed, the vision has been revised, and our vision is to ensure that platforms and opportunities are created for young people to excel in leadership, in entrepreneurship, and diplomacy. These 3 fields are very, very important for young people. And this will, pass through the mission that we have, which is to empower young people, especially the young girls from less privileged area, to, achieve intellectual independence and financial freedom. So that's how I redesigned the World Youth Summit NPC so far. And the great news is that in January, last January this year, in the United Nations headquarters in New York, a World Youth Summit MPC was recommended by the Committee on NGO to be granted special consultative status with the United Nations ECOSOC. So this is the greatest achievement that I achieved so far with leading that organization, and I'm proud of the organization. I'm proud of what they are doing. We are highly engaged with young people. We are on humanitarian affairs as well. We are contributing into development of young people. We have empowered more than 10,000, during the past 2 years. And when I mean empowerment, I mean real empowerment that we can monitor, we can follow up with them. So, so at World Youth Summit MPC, we are planning the Like Mandela Forum 2nd edition. And this edition this year is under the patronage of Her Excellency Ms. Dileka Mandela, granddaughter of Nelson Mandela and CEO of the Tembekile Mandela Foundation. She will be traveling from South Africa to the Turkish Republic of Cyprus to host that event. And in May, we'll be also hosting the 6th edition of World Youth Summit, in France. That will be in France, in Compiègne, northern Paris. So the calendar of World Youth Summit this year is really thick. We are having real program, real project. You remember last time I told you, people shouldn't know our organization as event organizer. We are there to, to impact the life of young people, to create opportunities for them, to help them get developed, to help the African continent, particularly, to help its economy to be boosted. Because, Africa, in terms of natural resources, is the richest continent in the world. But when we come to GDP, Africa is seen as the poorest continent. So how do we create opportunities and create programs that can help boost the economic growth of the continent Africa? So that is what we did at World Youth Summit MPC by creating 2 programs which will come and reshape the economy of Africa. We believe that because we have that vision and we are working towards that. We created the YATEC, the Young African Thought for Economic Growth. And during this program, it's a 6-month program, like a competition. We will be collecting innovative ideas from young people. And then we'll be selecting best ideas from these ideas. And then we will be funding them, transforming those innovative ideas into real businesses. And by doing that, we are empowering those young people, giving them intellectual independence, and then encouraging them to become financially free. Because by building turning those ideas into real business, we're going to build those businesses for them in their community, and then they will be developing their community and then contributing in the economic growth of their country and the continent at large. So that's for one. And I'm just saying to you, thank you very much, Mary. You are just like an angel. Why? Because you are introducing me somebody who is very key to what I've already been praying on. And I'm a very faithful person, and I know that when God put me somewhere, it's for a reason. And by meeting Mr. Lukoye today, I'm just saying, as we say, Muslim said, Alhamdulillah, like great, thanks be to God. Why? Because the World Youth Summit has developed a program, myself personally, a program called the African Institute of Agripreneurship and Trade. In this institute, we are going to have agriculture, entrepreneurship, and trade. These are the 3 fields that, if we develop and give the required, education to the young people from Africa in this 3 fields, we are going to have a type of Africa that we have never seen before, a developed Africa that we have never seen before. So another good news is that we got in contact with one angel, one Samaritan, or let's say humanitarian and philanthropist, who decided to offer the World Youth Summit MPC an office in Kenya. So that is what I'm saying, Mary. I don't know how you did it.
It's woo-woo. It's what we call magic.
Yeah. It's just like, I can't believe it. Yeah. So it is an office in Kenya. And then a lot of things are going to change. The man is Mr. Jacob. I will just limit myself to just say the name, Jacob. And we're going to meet in Northern Cyprus during the Like Mandela Forum. And then we'll be discussing how we are going to bring strategies, because having, an office, I mean, it's just like a dream come true. We are registered in many countries around the world, but we don't really have a real office. And this man is offering us a real office, fully furnished, rent pay for 1 year, just for us to start up. And really, I'm so thankful for that. I'm seeing now the African Institute of Agripreneurship being implemented. That project being implemented, starting by Kenya, as the first country in Africa. This is just the work of God. Yeah, this is just the work of God. And that really, we got a lot. Yeah, we got a lot that we cannot just discuss in a simple conversation like this. But I'm really, really very, interested and looking forward to really engage more with Mr. John, who I'm already seeing like maybe the rector or the vice rector of that team. So yeah, because we need knowledgeable people. We need knowledgeable people to lead the institute. If we even start as small as it is, as Mr. John was saying, they started before 15 and then they seen themselves 300. The importance is the quality of the education we'll be bringing to people, because this will be the first time. I'm 30 years of age. I've never seen a school, of agripreneurship. I've never seen a school of, trade, and we will be tapping into the free trade agreement, in Africa to teach what the young people need to know so that they can remain in Africa and develop Africa. So that's a little bit that I can say now. So,
John, I know you have some questions or comments. Would you like to ask away?
I'm so much glad, so much a great think tank, because I'm really wondering why we have been having such brains yearning somewhere, and here's the great man. So I'm very much appreciative, brother and doctor, and this is the humble time, Hassan, to work on that. And maybe some of the questions that I may throw for you, because generally I think what you have said, what we are lacking in Africa is what is called the leadership, because Africa is the most resourceful nation. Why do I say? In Africa, I might even build my house on gold, but I don't have a technology to extract the gold. The gold is just deep on my bed, but I cannot extract that, you see. Yet the gold is one of the most valuable minerals so far on the earth, which means Africa, we are so much endowed with resources, only that leadership does not allow the young people to integrate themselves, since that, most of the leadership in Africa is more correlated with the old age and a certain lineages of tribal lines. So the leadership in Africa, that is what is creating the problem. So my question was to go to this. Perhaps you have said there will be a conference that is to be held in France, and that is possibly in May. I want to ask, kindly requesting, if at all there might be a possibility of the organization thinking about maybe sponsoring 2 or 3 from Kenya, because I really believe this is an opportunity for the think tank to come from this region to also to lie hand in hand at your side as we throw the wall, and to send the word that we need to have an academic institution that is both on agriculture and really entrepreneur on the ground, so that we may tap the great opportunities that are in Africa. Because right now we have a lot of brain drain in Kenya. For example, let me just tell you, in Kenya we have more than 4,000 real doctors who have been trained to be doctors, but they don't have any job, loitering, doing nothing. Yet if they get an opportunity outside, they hardly go, simply because there are many restrictions that does not allow them to go. But we have 4,000, yet in one hospital in Kenya, we cannot even get more than 2 doctors. Why don't these doctors get a place? Why don't the youths have big hospitals which are managed by the youths, used to change the lives and let us say the health sector, and we embrace the youth? Because at the end of the day, if a youth think of one another, we really turn Africa, because a healthy society is an active society. So I want to think of this. Is there a possibility through your organization to help and do maybe 2 or 3, maybe a possibility if to sponsor 3 or 2 to come to the Paris conference, if that is such opportunity? I just don't know, but that is my humble prayer.
Yeah,
Here you go.
so much. Yeah, your question, sir. So what I will advise, to also just to do is that we are coming to Kenya. We are now getting registered in Kenya with a real office in Kenya, meaning the people of Kenya are blessed already. So what I will do, if I were you, was to link me up with those young people from Kenya to already start being member, because we are like working on a membership base, serving our members first, because they are the ones showing interest. So when you become member of World Youth Summit MPC, we are making you premium on all our programs. So, and our programs are for you for free. So sometimes whenever we are asking a young person to pay for something, it's maybe for their accommodation when we cannot handle that. So a program like the Like Mandela Forum, it is free of charge. A program like the World Youth Summit Access Paris, it is free of charge. So the only thing that they do is just to take care of their accommodation. So since your request is like 2 months from the event, we can work on that and see how we can help those young people, because people have money. Even in Kenya, we have rich people. This Samaritan is coming from Kenya, and we have never met before. So it's just to let you know that the young people don't just know how to critically or how to strategically ask for sponsorship or ask for funds, and we can help them with that. We can help them with reference. We can help them draft a great sponsorship, document, and link them up with those people that can help them get the funds to travel to our event. But we would like to, the coming years, to focus more on Africa, bringing the YATEC in Kenya, starting with Kenya. It is just to show you that we have really, we are really hoping, and we are really working, and we are having Africa in our heart, and we really want to do our best to see Africa being developed, meaning seeing the young people, being developed. So, and bringing YATEC in Africa is like bringing a $1 million investment, $1 million or €1 million investment at least, because we'll be driving angel investors and philanthropists and investors from the Middle East. And these people are loaded and they get money. Sometimes they get money, they don't know where to invest. So we are bringing them the right tool and the right way to invest, and we are encouraging them to do so. So by doing so, I'm not Kenyan, I'm not from Kenya, I've never been in Kenya, maybe hoping to be there. It's just to show you that by doing so, we'll be helping in developing Kenya as a country, in boosting the economy of Kenya, and then boosting the economy of Africa, because Kenya is in Africa. And the years to come, we'll be identifying other countries. So that's my answer for your question.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Great.
Yeah. Ambassador, I think that sounds like the beginning of a partnership with the Joedy Foundation, is what it sounds like.
Our deputy CEO, Mary, if I'm not cutting you short, our deputy CEO, Sarah Charlene, she's in Kenya. It's another good news. So I can immediately link Mr. John and Ms. Sarah together, so that we can work on a non-disclosure agreement, and then we can pass to a partnership possibility if we come to an understanding on how our both organization can work. But whenever we were thinking of launching the Young African Tool for Economic Growth or the African Institute of Entrepreneurship and Trade, we always put the SDG 4, on the top. I mean, the quality education. We can't do these two projects if we don't have the right people or the right organization who give or provide this quality education to the young people. Because the YATEC program, to become a good entrepreneur, you need what? You need the education. To become a good agriculture, somebody who is good in agriculture, you need the education in that area. So we will need to partner with organizations like the one of Mr. John to see how we can put ourselves all forward.
That's perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
What I want to do is kind of end up with a couple of questions. First, and maybe this helps to solidify things for John, I know he's taking notes, is the two events that you've mentioned, the World Youth Summit in Paris, or in France. I assume it's in Paris, I'm not sure where it is, but tell us when that is actually occurring. We need a date on that, and then also the Lead Like Mandela. Give us a date on that so that we make sure we get that out.
Thank you. The Lead Like Mandela Forum will be held from the 1st to the 3rd of April 2023 in the Turkish Republic of Cyprus. So it is called Northern Cyprus. So yeah, so it is hosted under the patronage of Her Excellency Miss Dileka Mandela, and the theme of the conference is the transformational leadership strategic key of African development. So we have invited great guests, high profile level speakers from all around the world, from USA to Dubai, passing through Africa, South Africa. So it will also be covered by some TV from South Africa. And we are also going to be in partnership with many organizations, including the Higher Education for Good, a great organization, non-profit organization based in Geneva, who are really doing great, in youth area. We are also going to be partnering with other organizations like the National Youth Agency, Development Agency in South Africa. So these organizations are going to come in as one to host the second edition of Like Mandela Forum. And moving forward, we'll be hosting the World Youth Summit Act 6. So as I said, after South Africa, UAE, Ghana, Nigeria, we are now going to France. It's going to be in Compiègne. So Compiègne is a small town, 1 hour from Paris, going to the north of France. Yeah, it's going to be from the 26th to the 28th of May 2023.
Okay.
And everyone so far who is able to speak at the event is all invited to do so, to apply, to contact us, for a speaking opportunity.
Okay, excellent. I think I've introduced her before, but I do have a wonderful contact in Paris who connects with young people all over the world. So she may be very useful in moving people toward you, and also maybe working with you some. So I'll do that. The Lead Like Mandela Forum, that's next week. As we sit right now, it's March 22nd. So you've got a lot of details to. And by the way, I sure would love to interview Ms. Mandela. So that would be awesome. Great event, great things. Who do you need to help you move you forward? It sounds like we've already introduced John. He's one that can help you. Who do you need to meet to move you forward with what you're doing right now, Ambassador?
At this level, I think we need more engagement coming from leaderships. And as they are not so much supportive, we need to already do something. You know, back in 2018, when I came back from Thailand, and I thought of creating the World Youth Summit. I remember when you asked me what's the World Youth Summit, I said, well, the idea was just to bring all the young people together and then talk about SDGs. But you see that so far a lot of things have changed. So far the vision itself has changed, and we have seen things now in bigger scale. So what every young person need to know, or every person who has a goal or a vision, is just to start working on it. Even when you don't have a way, when you don't have a means, when I mean means, I mean financial means. Because nowadays a lot of things are not done because there is lack of finances. But when you start something and you put it in full dedication, for sure you are going to be identified by some particular people, by some people that really want to support your vision. And that's what I've been going through since. So I've been finding on my way people that come, they drop in their help, and they move on with their life. Some come, they stay, some come, they go, some come, we argue, we disagree, and they come back. But at the end of the day, the vision stands. Because as I always said, even after me, I want the World Youth Summit MPC to remain. And that the type of leadership that we'll be carrying on with the World Youth Summit is exactly the same that I wish I would have if I was still the one. So that is it.
Wow.
Fantastic. Wow. Fantastic. Well,
Yes.
we're going to end up here. So, John, thank you so much for being on with us and sharing a little bit about Joedy Foundation. And now we can see the genesis of a beautiful relationship forming between you and Ambassador Hassan Rengou. So thank you both. If you'll stay on for just a minute, I'm going to tell everybody else to let them know that if you're watching this on YouTube, go to www.frontrunnersinnovate.com where you'll get this interview. I'm going to ask the two of these young gentlemen to give me links and anything else they'd like to share. I need their headshots, their bios. You'll get all that information at frontrunnersinnovate.com. So we thank you both and appreciate it. And goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.